Good evening. Welcome to News at 10 on BBC News. I am Oyeshiku Falake. Headlines: Environmental crisis sparks protest in Igondo, Ikotun. Refuse heaps overwhelm areas near council secretariats. Lagos State clamps down on roadside trading. Bad roads and security concerns persists. Ritual sacrifice dumping raises public health fears. The Lagos State government has begun the handover of 180 newly completed shops at the Alabarago Transnational Market. Ali Mosho budgets 8.81 billion. Ali Mosho local government strengthens waste management fleet with second compactor truck. A female pedestrian and member of the Mountain of Fire Miracles Ministries was fatally struck by Mercedes-Benz C300 driver. Darkness reigns in Lagos community 5 years after buying transformer. Residents of Igodo Ikotun are raising serious concerns over an environmental sanitation crisis that has left their communities overwhelmed by uncollected refuse. Large heaps of waste have taken over several areas, including locations close to the Igondo Ikotun Local Council Development Area Secretariats. Residents say the prolonged neglect poses serious health risks and reflects a breakdown in waste management. The situation has sparked protests, with angry youths taking to the streets to express frustration over what they describe as government neglect. Some demonstrations reportedly turned violent as tensions escalated. Community members warned that without urgent intervention, the refuse accumulation could lead to outbreaks of diseases. Roadside trading clampdown. In a related development, the Lagos State government has intensified its crackdown on roadside trading along the Ikotun-Igondo road. Officials say the exercise is aimed at reducing traffic congestion, restoring order, and improving pedestrian safety. However, many displaced traders argue that the operation has left them without a source of livelihood. They insist that no adequate alternatives were provided before enforcement began. The clampdown has improved traffic flow in some areas, but has also increased economic hardship for affected traders. Infrastructure decay. Infrastructure decay remains a major concern in the area. The Ikotun-Igondo Road, a key transport route, is riddled with potholes and worsened by flooding and refuse accumulation. Commuters and commercial drivers say the road condition has increased travel time, vehicle damage, and transportation costs. Political groups and civil society organizations have called on the Lagos State government to urgently rehabilitate the road and address sanitation issues along the corridor. Security and policing. Residents have also raised concerns over security and policing in Igondo. Allegations of police extortion and misconduct have surfaced, with residents accusing some officers of collecting illegal payments from motorists. However, police authorities say they have arrested several armed suspects in the area as part of ongoing efforts to combat crime. Residents are calling for a balance between effective security and respect for citizens' rights. Ritual sacrifice dumping. Another issue generating public outrage is the dumping of ritual sacrifices at church bus stop in Igondo. Residents say animal remains and ceremonial items left in public spaces contribute to environmental pollution and pose health risks. While some view the practice as cultural, others insist it must be regulated to protect public spaces and public health. Government response. In response to the criticism, the Igondo Ikotun LCDA has highlighted several developmental initiatives, including road rehabilitation, installation of solar street lights, and community health outreach programs. However, residents argue that these efforts have not addressed the immediate challenges and waste management, road deterioration, and economic hardship. Alimosho budgets 8.81 billion. The chairman of Alimosho local government, Ibrahim Johnson Akinpelu, has budgeted 8.81 billion for this year's expenditure. The appropriation bill, tagged Budget of Restoration and Renewed Progress, is aimed at ensuring effective governance and service delivery. Akinpelu said the 2026 fiscal plan would focus on road and drainage construction. Akinpelu said the 2026 fiscal plan would focus on road and drainage construction, support for the aged, widows and vulnerable persons, staff welfare, and provision of logistical support for elected and appointed officials, career civil servants, and traditional rulers. The chairman used the occasion to highlight achievements recorded since assuming office, including the construction of Bangbola and Benstar Streets, erection of the Community Development Committee (CDC) building, reconstruction of a mosque and chapel, installation of speed breakers along Shasha Road, construction of a customary court, and the establishment of an advocacy center for residents. Other interventions, he said, include the construction of public toilets, distribution of 600 free GCE forms, the introduction of a monthly 50% subsidized food sales program, Onje Alimosho, improved staff welfare, and the ongoing reconstruction of Old Ipaja Road, construction of Sekoni Street, Alagunton, Iyano Ipaja, ongoing construction of Kasali Alison Street, Orisumibare, 100,000 cash empowerment to 500 residents of Alimosho local government area, and others. Alimosho local government strengthens waste management fleet with second compactor truck. Alimosho local government has acquired an additional compactor truck to further enhance waste collection and management across the council area. This development forms part of the administration's ongoing efforts to improve environmental sanitation and promote a cleaner, healthier Alimosho for residents. It will be recalled that the local government took delivery of its first compactor truck towards the end of 2025. With the acquisition of a second truck, the council is expanding the coverage and efficiency of waste evacuation, ensuring that more communities benefit from regular and timely refuse collection. As a government, we owe it to our people to fulfill all our campaign promises, part of which is maintaining a cleaner Alimosho. This is one of the promises we are fulfilling, among several others we made during the electioneering, the chairman stated. He further assured residents that the council would continue to prioritize service delivery and people-oriented projects. We will not stop or rest on our oars until our people are fully satisfied and Alimosho is recognized as a model of cleanliness and responsible waste management, he added. Woman killed by hit and run driver in Lagos. A female pedestrian and member of the Mountain of Fire Miracles Ministries was fatally struck by a Mercedes-Benz C300 driver in a hit-and-run incident on Saturday at the NYSC bus stop, Igondo area of Lagos State. As reported by Vanguard, the victim was reportedly on her way to a worship service at MFM Church Igondo when this accident occurred. Confirming the incident, the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority said its personnel responded swiftly. Upon receipt of distress alerts, LASTMA personnel stationed along the Igondo axis responded with commendable alacrity and operational proficiency. Darkness reigns in Lagos community 5 years after buying transformer. At Okofilin in Igondo area of Lagos State, a silent transformer stands as a symbol of both hope and frustration. Purchased in 2020 through communal contributions, the equipment was meant to end nearly 2 decades of erratic electricity supply for thousands of residents in Alimosho local government area. 5 years later, the transformer remains unused, while households and businesses continue to depend on an aging, overloaded unit prone to frequent breakdowns. For residents, the irony is painful. They bought their own solution, yet remain trapped in the darkness. For years, residents under the Ultimate Community Development Association (CDA) had pleaded with the Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company (IKEDC) to provide a new transformer to ease pressure on the existing one, which has been in use for almost 2 decades. When those appeals yielded no results, the community took matters into their own hands. The decades-old overloaded transformer, according to Lawal Sulaiman, chairman of the CDA, who served by 11 Igondo INJ T1 New Igondo feeder, said the decision was driven by desperation. This is 2026. The transformer we are managing is almost 20 years old and badly overloaded, he told Business Day. That is why we decided to help ourselves and buy a relief transformer. Residents pulled funds, purchased the transformer and completed installation, believing IKEDC would energize it once regulatory procedures were completed. Instead, the equipment has remained idle for 5 years due to administrative and technical bottlenecks. Nike Babatunde, who once ran a drinks business, said rising generator costs forced her to shut down. I stopped selling drinks because I can no longer afford the cost of fueling my generator, especially after the fuel subsidy was removed, she told Business Day. Customers want cold drinks, but the power supply here is too unreliable. Chioma Emmanuel, a frozen food trader, faced a similar fate. The cost of running a generator to power my freezers is higher than the profit I make, she said. When I added the extra cost to my goods, customers stopped buying and chose to go elsewhere. Residents build despite poor supply. Despite irregular electricity supply, many residents, most of whom lack prepaid meters, continue to receive monthly estimated bills. For nursing mothers like Mumi Afolabi, the unused transformer has become a daily reminder of unfulfilled promises. Mixed reactions trail federal government directive on free prepaid electricity meters. Experts, power sector operators and electricity distributor companies discourse have expressed divergent views on the federal government's directive mandating the rollout of free prepaid meters to electricity consumers nationwide. They said this while reacting to the directive in an interview with the News Agency of Nigeria (NAN) on Sunday in Lagos. NAN reports that the Minister of Power, Adeboye Adelabu, on January 26, directed all electricity discos to provide prepaid meters free of charge to customers across all tariff bands. An energy expert, Olukayode Akinrolabu, said the initiative was a critical step toward transparency, fairness and trust in the electricity sector. Akinrolabu, who chairs the Customer Consultative Forum for Festac and Satellite Town, urged discourse to move beyond delays and excuses. As residents await decisive action, The situation in Igondo Ikontu remains tense. Authorities are being urged to move beyond enforcement and promises and to deliver sustainable solutions and address sanitation infrastructure and livelihoods. This is BBC News Nigeria. I am Oyeshiku Folakemi. Thank you for watching.